Welcome to your daily read, folks. I am using the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck today, and I've laid everything out in a Celtic cross formation. Your first card is the Six of Pentacles. Whoever I'm speaking to, somebody's got in for help. The previous card is the Five of Pentacles, and I described in an earlier reading about how somebody needed to admit that they needed to go in for help, to admit their vulnerability, which is actually an incredibly strong thing to do, especially in our pull yourself up by your own bootstraps kind of culture. It's strong being deliberately vulnerable. That's powerful. And this is not a bad thing at all. It suggests that you've transitioned and that you're in between this stage, celebrating the end of an era, and hopping into the zero of the Fool. So right now, this is a time of just hanging out, accepting assistance. This is facing the past, or pointing towards, what I should do is pointing towards the past. And it indicates that you've gone in for help, and now you are enjoying the benefits of having gone in for assistance from somebody. In your past, you have the High Priestess. You listened to somebody who said, you can get help, and here's where you can get help. You obeyed your intuition. You obeyed the part of you that said, I can't do this alone, and I choose not to do this alone. I'm going to get downloads from my ancestors, from my guides, from the universe, and I'm going to go in for help. This is an awesome place to be in. I see you as being in consciously recovering from a serious betrayal, a serious end. There might have been an explosive fight. There might have been a physical fight, kind of suggesting by the person, the figure who was dead, has a bunch of swords lying in them. You personally might be somewhat bruised after this particular fight, at least emotionally, if not physically. There might have been an actual physical fight, and right now, it feels good to be away from this particular situation. It feels good to be accepting help, but you are in a state of recovery right now. The black in the background at the top suggests protection, that this kind of death, this transformation, this end of an era is a kind of protection for you, in spite of the fact that you are hurting. Subconsciously, though, I see you consistently looking back to make sure that your back is covered. It's concerning for you personally to think about what could happen if this person in your life who may have physically fought you, physically hurt you. It is concerning for you, I see. You're looking back to make sure that they aren't following behind you, and you might have that reflex for a while, and that's part of why the recovery from the Ten of Swords is so rough for you, is because you're waiting for it to happen again, and that's not necessarily the case, but that's not what your mind says just yet. This is just as easily about the mind as it is about speech. You might be still very much in the mindset that this could happen at any time, that the situation could repeat itself, and you might be talking to somebody. This might be about you going in for help and speaking to someone privately, such as a therapist, about what you can do to recover from this. You're not talking about this not talking about going to see a therapist with anyone just yet, and that's not a bad thing at all. Keep this protected, keep it safe, until you are ready to talk about it with other people, if that's something you ever want to do. In the future, you've got the Chariot, going forward, rolling forward into progress, continuing the journey of life, and not needing to force your way through with physical means such as bridles on these sphinxes. You're able to use your mind to plan the path forward, or at least use your mind to say, this is where I need to go, this is where I don't need to go. Maybe not necessarily planning, but sensing in the moment that this is where you're supposed to be driving your chariot. The chariot of life as you sit in it. You are in control, And in the future, you're going to feel like you're more in control, and you're going to be leaving that mindset at the Page of Swords in reverse. The advice is to internally celebrate, even though people around you are not. I can see that because, well, this is in your advice position, in your environment position, there's the end of a family here. This is happily ever after that may have been a mirage, and the people around you may have not seen it, or they may have chosen not to see it. The Four of Wands is traditionally my marriage card, and in reverse, that's divorce. And definitely together with the Ten of Cups, that if that's not divorce, that's the breaking up of a family unit that, at least to outsiders, looked like everybody had everything together, like they were the perfect family. But it couldn't have been further from the truth. Behind closed doors, things were anything but happy. It looked like to everybody that you had everything you could have ever wanted, but secrets were kept, secrets were held, not anymore. And people aren't celebrating this, and you need to be understanding that people are not celebrating this, except that they're not going to be happy, that they're going to be shocked, that they might even be displeased, that they might even ask you, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you try that? They might even say, well, people are just people. That's what these kinds of people do, regardless of gender. You have to expect them to misbehave. You have to expect them to not treat you well. That's them talking out of their own ass. They may not even believe that themselves necessarily, or maybe they do. It doesn't matter. They're giving bad advice. They're not happy to see you leaving this situation, and you need to just accept it at that. In your hopes and fears, you're afraid that whatever new start you're trying to make for yourself, it's not going to work. Respectfully, I disagree with this Chariot upright in your future. That actually tells me that this is a good sign, that the universe is going to bless you. You see the canopy above? It's stars. It's a fabric of stars, and it's in alignment with what the Empress has as her crown. 7 is 4 plus 3 together, and that's the Empress and the Emperor. This is their son. This is their progeny. This is their descendant. So after those two cards combine, after the entities inside of the Empress and the Emperor combine, they create progress, a potential to move forward. And he's also wearing a crown that echoes what the Empress wears in her own crown. So please bust a myth for yourself and say that you can be successful, that everybody's got to start somewhere, and that yes, you can be successful. Once again, go in for help with this particular matter that you might be concerned about when it comes to starting a new life. There might be some unexpected assistance that you weren't looking for, but comes out for you anyway if you just ask. In your future, or I should say in your outcome, you've got the Page of Wands in reverse. Slow starting, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you won't start at all. You will want to keep this to yourself because you have a whole bunch of people who aren't pleased to see you successful, who aren't pleased to see you rolling forward in life. They're not going to be happy to see it. They're going to be happier, potentially, if you go back to your old situation, which I hope that you choose to never do. I hope that you get a taste of freedom and decide that no, you don't want to go back, and no way in hell would you ever want to return to a similar situation either. From the bottom, you've got some deep happiness here in the future, or even now. There are some things that you can be grateful for. This is a good time to, I hate to say have a gratitude journal and have bullshit cliches like that, but if it's helpful to you, maybe it isn't a bullshit cliche. Maybe it is time to have a gratitude journal. What are you happy for that you got to take out of this 10 of Swords situation? What do you have that you are grateful for, even if that's just you? Even if that's you accepting help, even if that's compassion for yourself, can you start small? even if you didn't take much of anything or anything at all out of this old situation that you possibly had to run away from? Can you administer a whole lot of self-love to yourself? Because I see right here with the Queen of Pentacles that you're going to have to relearn the process, or learn the process of taking care of yourself first before taking care of others, being concerned for others, taking care of your body, of your material comfort, of what brings you, your body, material comfort. That's going to be the first order of business. And here with that Six of Pentacles, you have assistance to get that process started. But I do see with that Ten of Swords in reverse that this is going to be a process. For some people, it's going to be longer. For other people, it's going to be shorter. Folks, I wish you a great journey of healing. I wish you a happier journey on your way through life, is what I should say. It's about the journey. It's not about the destination, okay? Have a great rest of your day. Take care.